Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Hansen, and we're part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help make it one focus on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy podcast. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of March.
Yeah, so today is the last day of March, Summers.
Yep.
Yesterday, I know you were
day. I don't know why. I mean, I think yesterday I was kind of like really rooting for April Fool's Day because I'm just ready, or maybe I just didn't want Wednesday to happen. I don't know, but yes, there are in fact 31 days in March, and today is in fact the last day of March, and tomorrow will be another month. So glad we cleared
what
that
is time anyway, Summers? What is time anyway, right?
So, okay, but you know what time is? Time is funny because now that I am recording the Optimist Daily Update on Central Time, my previous schedule was such that like everybody in my house knew they had to be completely quiet between the hours of like 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., right? Literally nobody would come down and even press the toaster because the odds were we'd be recording. Now, I really love how quiet my house is in the morning. And then when I start recording this a couple hours later, everyone's buzzing around and I'm getting less compliance with regards to the quiet recorded. So if you guys hear my husband hacking away at our floor in the background, or if you hear the dog, being very excited to see the big kids, that is why it is not as quiet in the McKay household as it once was. So that is something time has shifted for my family.
Well, it's not that unusual. And I'm curious to see what happens as the world goes back. I mean, I just have to hope that we're going to be able to not just be working from home at some point. There will be a time when we do return to going to school.
Exactly, going to physical school. So like our big kids are going to go to physical school next year, and my littlest is in physical school now. So you're right. But like come fall 2021, it might be quiet in the house again, and assumedly my husband will also no longer be working on solving the polar vortex apocalypse floors that we inherited when we bought this amazing, lovely home. From actually some Optimist Daily emissaries, in fact, believe it or not, our previous homeowners, after they learned what I do for a living, went and joined the Optimist Daily's emissaries, which is like kind of cool. I guess, Kristy, you and I do a good thing around here.
And as the more we can spread the message, the better, I think. There's some really cool stories today. I'm just going to read super quick a couple of the headlines, and then we can jump into the two that we decided to.
Oh, you're doing it backwards today.
Look at you. I want to do it backwards just because
flipping the script. I like it.
Yeah. So just super quick. Massachusetts has passed sweeping climate legislation to reduce emissions. Project-based learning equips students to face real-world problems, and I love that concept of actually focused on projects to help focus on real world, because that's what happens. There's a microbe-based cheese that looks and tastes like the real thing, not made out of cow's milk, but other things. 10 key ingredients for a plant-based pantry, and that's sort of a highlight as we think about how do we make a healthy kitchen. Algae solar panels are generating clean energy while also cleaning the air. And there's 14 ways to naturally reduce your blood pressure. So these are all super great stories, but that's not what we're going to talk about, because we have some fun ones that we decided to. It's a little bit of a larky day today on the Optimist Daily in terms of what we're going to focus on.
We're going to brighten your hump day with smiles. We're kind of focused on the mouth region.
I like it.
I will share mine first because I think Kristy's yours is like a great punch for the way out of the door. But the headline reads, Dutch designer creates masks that are meant to be littered. Everyone, masks are a thing of the present and they will be a thing of the future. And one of the challenges with masks is that the disposable ones, and even some of the ones that are intended to be reusable end up as waste, right? They end up as waste. You'll see them in yards. And even when we were cleaning our yard when we moved in, there were just a number of masks that had just kind of been littered and brought through the wind in the area that we live in. Well, this designer came up with an idea. Her name is Marianne de Groot-Pons, and she basically came up with an idea of masks that are meant to be planted. Now, 1 year of global widespread mask use has definitely increased the risk to wildlife who would choke on masks or get tangled. Instead of giving them microplastics to eat, Marie de Groot-Pons came up with an idea of putting flower seeds between rice paper to produce a biodegradable face covering that can be planted in your garden. The masks are sold under the name Marie B. Bloom. I just have such a crush on this lady. I love it. I just want to like litter my yard with them so I have wildflowers everywhere. But de Groot has had to move production from mask making at her kitchen and now employs 30 people to keep up with the demand. She sells her masks in the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany, but is expecting to open availability to all of Europe in the next few weeks. I'm certain that the effort and design that she's putting into these masks also ensures their safety and efficacy. And I just love this. I think it's just a great visual, and it's one of those stories in design that gets me going. Now, what are we protecting with these masks?
Well, moving on to other smiles and others in other smile news, the article that I'm going to highlight today, which is it just definitely made me smile. The headline reads, "Goodbye dentures. Soon we may be able to regrow teeth naturally." And this is a bit of a larky story, and it's definitely out there. But there are scientists at Kyoto University and the University of Fukui in Japan, and they're working to develop a treatment based on monoclonal antibodies that triggers the body to regrow new teeth. And the idea of this is really cool. Just the other day, I was sitting with my mom and one of her friends who they're now in their 70s, and they're having to get not cavities, but fillings because their enamel has been worn away just from being old.
Right.
From
having over time.
Overuse over time, right? Anyway, so teeth they do continue to grow, but as you get old, they are not as strong, and sometimes you lose your teeth for one reason or another, and you end up with dentures. That's sort of the typical denture now.
Exactly.
And dental work has really transformed over the recent years. You can have teeth implants now, but this takes it just a step beyond, because it's actually getting the body to actually grow new teeth. They haven't done this in humans yet, but they have experienced success with mice, and the genes that influence tooth growth that have a heavy impact on body development. So this makes this a very finicky step. So there's a gene which keeps you from continuing to grow your teeth. As once you are fully developed, you don't want to all just have more teeth in your head, right? And so there's a gene that stops that, but when they're able to block this gene, the USAG1, which once they did that, it led to an increased activity of the bone morphogenic protein, which is a molecule that determines how many teeth are going to grow in the first place. So this allowed adult mice to regrow teeth that were missing. So it's sort of like hacking the system. It's definitely out there. It's definitely a wild.
I feel like we are going to get emails, right? We are going to get emails about this one.
But it is a clinical teeth that is aimed at helping us figure out how to encourage adult folks who have lost their teeth to be able to regrow those missing teeth. Kind of like your little daughter, right?
Exactly. So that leads me to a comment that I made. I think I mentioned to you guys yesterday that I got up at the crack of dawn to take a shower. One of the things that I also did then was like vigorously floss, because it'd been so long since I did that. Ooh. And then I flossed again today, and not like that long, like maybe a week, right? Which sounds like a really, really awful long time, but I had packed the floss and hadn't unpacked it and whatever.
Full disclosure, your personal hygiene has declined.
Exactly. Like I was washing my hair with baby shampoo or like baby Anyway, but one of the things that I do for my teeth, and I know that we've talked about this before, is oil pulling, using coconut oil to swish. And I have this belief that, and there's some science behind it that it's going to help me keep my teeth into my old age. But if not, by the time I lose my teeth, it sounds like this will be ready for me to grow new ones. So
we can hope, Summers. We can hope. Well, that's it. That's just today. It was a bit of a funny day.
Exactly. Everyone is
Happy
sitting
Wednesday,
here listening.
everybody.
Like, that's how I spent my 13 minutes listening to Summers Kristy talk about teeth and smiles and flowers. But guess what? You know what? Flowers make me smile, and I know they probably make you smile too. And Kristy, you make me smile. And the Optimist Daily does as well. Thanks everybody for listening to the Optimist Daily Update. We promise to continue to share positive solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and ensure it is changed for good. We also will share our personal hygiene tips. We promise to cover the current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offer you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us.
And please consider becoming an emissary like others that we have been talking about this morning. And starting at just $5 a month, you can help us get more optimism into the world, and you can support reader-funded independent journalism. That is the Optimist Daily. So be a part of that socially changing consciousness that addresses our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Help us keep the Optimist Daily free for everyone who needs it, supported by those of us who can. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more.
Bye, guys. This is totally going to be the episode, Kristy, that makes everybody become an emissary. I just know it. It's just happening.
Hey, you can put that mojo in the world. Amelia might think we're nuts, and she's probably going to cut out like half of it because it was a little weird loopy.
Whatever. Bye.